This is a message that I've been putting off bringing to you for a while, but I just feel like it's really time for me to say this. And if you have stopped stocking up or building out your extended pantry or your four corners pantry or your prepper pantry, it's time to get back at it. And one of the things I just cannot avoid seeing is the thinning shelves in the grocery store. I've heard people talk about how there's shortages in various areas, but I decided to really examine what was going on in the stores in my own area, and I was really struck by what wasn't on the shelves or how high prices were. I was listening to something on the news the other day, and it talked about inflation and how the economic how the economy, prices were just higher and higher, and because of a series of domino type effects, different products are just not available as readily as they used to. And one simple thing that really struck me was the other day my husband went to the liquor store to pick up some beer. He went to the usual store, pick up the usual beer, and they didn't have any. And the store clerk said that the reason why they didn't have any in was because there was a problem with bottling or bottles or something like that for the particular brand that he likes to get, and he likes to get the Miller's High Life. And for whatever reason, there was a shortage or a problem with the distribution or the supply line or the something that affected the ability to bring a bottle of Miller's beer to market. So he wasn't able to buy any. He had to buy a different brand. So I happened to be at Target, and then I saw there was some Miller's High Life there. So I picked up 2 of the 12 packs of the bottles for him just because it was there. Now I did call to make sure I was getting the right kind, and he said, yeah, that's it. So I said, well, I'm going to pick up some for just in case. So that just really kind of made me think more and more about what we're seeing and what we're not seeing. So before I get any further, let me say that this video is brought to you by Apron Diva. Pretty and practical, we believe that an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. And the apron that I am wearing today is the Lavinia, and it is one of our vintage aprons that is part of our Pearl collection, and I just absolutely love it. And so I wanted to wear it today just to show it off a little bit while I chatted with you guys about this mini grocery haul. So what I have for you today is a mini grocery haul for my prepper pantry. Now I did pick up some other things while I was at the store, but I decided that I was going to give myself a $25 budget for my extended pantry. And these are the things that I was able to get. And so I'll tell you what I got, how much they were, and whether or not I was able to stay within my $25. And one of the things that I use a lot of is chicken broth, bone broth, beef broth, but mostly chicken broth. So I did pick up 2 boxes of that. This was the reduced sodium, and these were on sale for $1.19 at Target. This is a Target haul, and it was their Good and Gather brand, and that's the Target brand. So I picked up 2 of those because I use that a lot. Now I do make my own chicken bone broth, but I also like to have some that I don't have to worry about refrigerating or freezing until I open it. And so the bone broth that I've made, I have to freeze it. So it's in the freezer at this time, but I just wanted to be able to have some things on the shelf that should the power go out, I didn't have to worry about that. I also picked up a carton of this beef broth. Now this beef broth was $1.99, and for some reason I thought the sign on the shelf said it was going to be $1.19. Well, that's not what it turned out to be. It was $1.99. So there's that. And then one of the things that I was out of was spaghetti. And I will admit I hadn't been adding to my extended pantry for a while, so I've been using from my preps. And I used the last of the spaghetti just the other day. I made some delicious spaghetti and meat sauce. So when I went to Target for this mini prep haul, I picked up 2 boxes, and they were 99 cents each. And this is the whole wheat pasta. We're trying to do a better job of eating whole grains, a little bit healthier. So I did want to get the whole wheat pasta, and it was 99 cents a box. Now right here in front, I also picked up some black beans, and we use a lot of black beans. I use them when I'm making soup, I use them in tacos, I use them with like chicken and black beans and that kind of thing. A lot of my Mexican themed foods, I will use black beans, but in my chilies and soups, I also like to use black beans. These were 89 cents each at Target, so I did pick up 2 of those, and each time I get groceries, I'll try to get another couple of cans because they're certainly a staple in our diet and can be in other diets if you like beans. And then this over here that I picked up was 2 cans of the Amy's light in sodium organic soup, and it was the chunky tomato bisque. Now, I love the Campbell's tomato bisque and basil soup, and it's about the same price as this, so I thought I would give it a try. Now, keeping in mind that I was trying to keep myself to $25, I did think about the fact that these were $2.49 a can, but I wanted to go ahead and get them, so I did because I wanted to give them a try. The other thing I picked up was this bag of dried chickpeas or garbanzo beans. I've not purchased the dried garbanzo beans like this before. I usually buy them in the cans, and I like to use them in my chilies. I have a recipe that I call Purdue chili that I like to use them in, as well as in a lot of other dishes. So I thought, well, let's give the dried ones a try and see how that works out. And then they also have pinto beans for 99 cents, so I picked up a bag of that. So there's that. And then down here on the end, I picked up some Star-Kissed chunk-like tuna in water. And this was $3.49 for this pack of 4 cans. And there's just so much you can do with tuna. First of all, you can eat it straight out of the can. With a fork, you can put it on crackers. You can make tuna salad sandwiches. You can make tuna casserole, which is typically what I make with it, is tuna salad sandwiches or tuna casserole. So I got the tuna, and it's a good stretcher for your diet. It's good to have fish, and tuna is the one way to do that. And like I said, you can stretch it in so many ways as well as you can with beans. So when you're trying to build out your prepper pantry or your extended pantry, one of the things you want to think about is what are some foods that can really stretch. And one of the foods that can really help you do that is pasta sauce. And I picked up 2 of these Bertolli rustic cut pasta sauce. And this one is the roasted garlic, as is this one. So I picked up 2 of the jars of the roasted garlic. Now, this is not cheap. This was on sale for $2.54 a jar. It's down from $2.99, but it's really down even more than that because just before the shutdown happened, when the pandemic was really surging about a year ago, I tried to pick up some of this, and it was almost $4 a jar. So I didn't get any. I got something else, but I had been picking it up before then. So since I saw that it was $2.54 and I had been using what I had on my shelf, I went ahead and picked up 2 jars of that. Now I know one of the things you're probably thinking is that there are cheaper brands, and there are. But this is my grocery haul, and I like what I like. And I love this roasted garlic, rustic cut pasta sauce from Bertolli. So I get it when I can. And the nice thing about this is that you can use the jar for something else, but keep it in mind, with this particular jar, you have to make sure you retain the lid. Now this Classico brand was not in this grocery haul. I just brought it out because I wanted to show something to you about it. And the Classico was on sale at Target for about $2.39. So it's not a cheap brand either, but when you buy this one, the jar that it comes in, the lid that it has, you can save this lid to put back on the jar, or you can use a regular canning jar lid on this jar. So it's almost like you get 2 things for the price of 1. You can use this jar in canning, and it will hold 1 bag of beans. Let me show you. This is a Classico jar, and I just returned the lid for this particular one, but this holds like one of these bags of beans. And so I really like keeping these jars because I can reuse them for different things. And as you think about your extended pantry, one of the things you're going to have to be concerned about is what you're going to store your food in. And these glass jars are always helpful to have. It's like getting an extra gift in that jar of sauce. And as I said earlier, the lids, you can use your regular canning lids on these, or you can retain the lid that it came with. So there's that. Let's see. So what did I actually spend for all of this? Well, it was $25.63. So I did go over a little bit, but I wasn't really concerned about that because like I said, I was picking up some essentials that particular trip, and also decided to pick up this mini prepper haul for about $25, and I only went 65 cents over, so I was fine. Now, if I only actually had $25 and I had to put something back, I would probably leave off these cans of soup, just because they were so expensive. There's other cans of soup that I could have gotten that would have been somewhat cheaper. So there's that to think about. The other thing I just wanted to share about jars is that I will keep certain size jars that other things come in. This particular jar, I think, was the Smucker's ice cream topping, and I usually would buy the caramel, the chocolate, and some other brand. So I would keep these jars so that I have at least 3 of them if I'm going to put them in the pantry, or like line them up or something like that, that I would have them to look orderly or organized in the pantry. But these are really nice to store some things in as well. Now, I can't like vacuum seal them in this or anything like that. I can't use them in a canner, but I can use them to store some items for short periods of time in my pantry, and that's what I like to do. And then this was a jar that some fancy jam came in, and I like the size and shape of the jar, so I decided to keep it. Again, making sure that I retain the lid so that I can store some simple things in it. And it could be beans, it could be some candies, it could be some herbs, who knows. But these are nice little jars just to kind of extend some of the work that I might need to do. Now, something else that I picked up. Now, this wasn't in my $25, but I try to pick this up at least once a month when I'm doing a grocery haul. And I will usually get a package of napkins like this. Now, I had stopped picking up napkins for a while because we had enough. And I thought, well, it looks like the economy is picking back up. Things are on the shelves again. But now I'm starting to see holes. So I went ahead and picked up a package of napkins. And a package of napkins this size will probably last us maybe 2-3 weeks. So I'll probably try to get one of these once a month so that I can stock up on these again. I also like to get this size package of paper towels. I like the Viva Signature Cloth, the kind that you can like pull them apart and you've got your choose a sheet, that kind of thing. I like to get this. And the other thing I like to get when I go to Target is this size package of toilet tissue. So I'll usually try to get one of these maybe twice a month. So on Thursdays when I'm doing my errands, I'll usually go and check my post office box. I'll run to Target and I'll pick up paper towels and toilet tissue and napkins should I need those. And my husband always asks, why do you go to Target just to get that stuff? Can't you get it at Kroger? And whereas I can, I like these particular sizes and these particular brands, and I'm out that way anyway for other things, so I'll just grab them while I'm there. So those came off of my regular grocery bill. Now, the other thing that I want to say, as homemakers, as homekeepers, it is your responsibility to make sure that you bring in the things that your family has. There's something in the Bible that says something about bringing foods into the storehouse, and right now, the storehouse is your house. You need to make sure you're having the things for your family. And then this particular book right here that I just love, called Home Comforts, The Art and Science of Keeping House, by Cheryl Mendelssohn, it has a chapter in here on preparedness, on being prepared. And one of the things that it talks about in the chapter on being prepared is a home emergency chest. And in that chest, it talks about having canned foods and canned milks and baby foods and different things like that that you might need in case of an emergency. And if you need to think about any emergency just recently, just think back, well, further back to Hurricane Katrina, and then most recently Hurricane Ida, and then you think about all the storms and fires and different things that's been happening around the country and even around the world. It just behooves us to be paying attention and start storing up things for our family. Now, let me say this, and I want you to understand this clearly. When you stock up on foods for your pantry, you are not hoarding. You are being prepared. And what you don't want to do and where you don't want to be is in the grocery store when, let's say, another shutdown is called, or there's been a really bad food shortage and you've got all these people in the store scrambling trying to get something. Or you don't want to be in a food line if you don't have to be. So try to plan ahead and just take $5, $10, or $25 out of your grocery budget, set it aside specifically for building out your extended pantry. And you want to start at least with a 2-week food supply to a 30-day food supply, building up to a 3-month food supply for your family. I've got a video on how to build out a 3-month food supply. I will link it with an iCard above. I've also got a couple of videos in regards to prepping, regarding some things you might want to get in for Thanksgiving, for medicine chest, and just different things like that. So I'll be sure to link that playlist so that you can check that out as well. So I do look at some of the videos by some of the other big preppers. I listen to the Alaska Prepper and some of the other ones, and some of them do share a lot of gloom and doom, and some of them do make a lot of common sense. So what I want to try to do is come to you with a common sense approach, in that as homemaker, we will do what we need to do to gradually prepare for our family. And the people that cause the problem in the grocery store are the people that run out and panic buy, not the people that on a weekly or bi-weekly or monthly basis, they gradually build up their food supply. So don't let people try to lay that on you. There's a shortage of food because of people like you. No, that is not accurate. There's a shortage of food in the store when people run out and panic buy, and then there is not enough. But if you gradually build up your food supply, there is enough for us all. Now, I have another book that I want to share with you, and it is called Poverty Prepping. And this was written by a woman named Susan Gregerson, and she wrote about trying to build out an extended pantry when she could barely afford to buy groceries on a weekly basis. She's really got some pretty good ideas on what you can do to try to save money in other parts of your life so you can begin to build out your extended pantry. I will link both of these books in the description box so that you can check them out as well. Now, one of the things that I want to mention that I did not pick up on this mini haul was rice. And I will typically get some of that, but since I was trying to hold myself to the $25, I made the decision not to get rice today, but I will get rice at the next mini haul. And the other thing that I thought I would do is try a Dollar Tree grocery haul, because if you're really trying to conserve, you've got just $20 or maybe $10, what are some things that you can pick up at the Dollar Tree that can be effective for you and your family? So I will do that in another video. To learn more about how to build out your extended pantry, click here. In the meantime, this is Denise Jordan saying you are not done yet. Click on the link in the comment section below and check out my video on how to build a 3-month food supply. And I will see you next time. And don't forget to visit our sponsor at www.aprondiva.com.